Ayo Dosunmu.
All right, guys. Welcome back to our draft series. Today we are highlighting a player that has a lot of skill, and Peyton and I have got to watch him a good amount, and we like him a lot. Today we got Ayo Dosunmu. He is a 6'5", 6'6" guard out of Illinois.
Yep.
He's tall, he's explosive, he's quick, he sees the court really well, great passer, and he's got a serviceable shot. Again, a very underrated player, just like Luka Garza, who we did last video of the series. So right now, Ayo in some of the mock drafts is anywhere from mid to late first to early second. So again, a big range. I don't think analysts really know where to put him. It really all depends on how that shot's going to translate to the next level. So it should be interesting to see where he goes in this draft.
Yeah, I think a fun place to start this video would be some comparisons, some draft comps. That's always what people love to do. They always love to take a prospect, compare him to an NBA player, and they never come up true. And it's always just unfair to the prospects to say they're like this player. But when we were looking at his stats, looking at his strengths and weaknesses, and the first player that came to my head, and I think it was a little outrageous, but I said he's kind of like Russell Westbrook without the bounce.
Yeah, explain a little bit.
I mean, yeah, you just look at his height, you look at his average shooting, his average playmaking. He's very good at getting to the rim. But the thing he lacks is that vertical athleticism. He's not super bouncy to the point where you can call him a freak athlete, but I'd say he's an above average. And all the measurables, he's got the same measurables as Russell Westbrook, as the kind of like a scoring point guard that needs work on the three. That's kind of why I saw Russell Westbrook, but I think that that's an unfair comparison because Russell Westbrook's best skill is his freakish athleticism. So it's kind of hard to compare him to Russell Westbrook when he lacks Russell Westbrook's best skill. But who's someone that you thought when you kind of read through his strengths and weaknesses?
So yeah, Peyton and I were talking about it before we were recording this video, and we saw DeJounte Murray comparison, which I think is the best one so far I've seen for Ayo. There's a lot of similarities there. DeJounte Murray is one of the best guard defenders in the league, and I think Ayo has the skill set and length to become that in the NBA. He has a really long wingspan, and he's a taller guard. 6'6" is fairly big for a guard, and he's very quick. So that combination of lateral quickness and being that long, you have the ability to be a very good guard defender. And DeJounte Murray is no slouch shooting the ball. He's not the greatest shooter ever, but he can put the ball in the basket when he's open. He's getting better as a shot creator, is starting to finish a little bit more now in pop system. And I think that's where Ayo can really thrive is, as kind of that DeJounte Murray mold of being a defender first, but then being a really reliable option on the offensive end with great vision and playmaking and passing. So I would argue to say DeJounte Murray is Ayo's ceiling, and that's a very good ceiling. That's a not a top tier point guard, but that's a above average point guard who's very good and someone you really want on a championship caliber team.
Yeah, and I think something that really sticks out with his game is that he knows his strengths and weaknesses. He knows that he might not be the most athletic around the rim, so he's found a way to work in floaters into his game, and he has one of the best floaters out of any of these prospects coming out of the draft. And I think that shows that he can, without that athleticism, or that vertical athleticism, he'll still be able to make an impact scoring in the NBA because he already has a very solid floater.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd call, I guess, to the argument now of being underrated or overrated. I think Ayo's rated about right. I mean, I can see a late first round pick, someone taking a shot on a 21-year-old, a junior coming out of college. So I think it's a good spot for him to land. I think there's no pressure to succeed, immensely at that 20th to 30th overall pick. I think any team that grabs him will, at a bare minimum, have a great backup point guard. So where would you like to see Ayo land, and on what team and for what reason?
So obviously, it sucks because the team I always see players like this, players that are kind of this polished, hardworking. I think that the Spurs are a perfect fit for him, but obviously, if you're comparing him to DeJounte Murray, that wouldn't be the best fit, but I see him kind of as like a player like Trey Jones, where when Trey was drafted by the Spurs, I thought that was I think he needs to go into one of these teams where it's okay letting him develop, kind of just sit maybe in the G League, work his way, kind of get very consistent. And then I think you could see I think maybe the Raptors would be a good pick for him, a good spot for him, like a team that is known for player development where they can really develop his defensive skills and his three-point shooting, but I don't know. I think that the Raptors, the Spurs, teams like that just have a lot of pedigree in developing players.
Yeah, the team I would say I think is the best fit for him right now is actually a team not known for their player development over the past couple of years, but all of a sudden has come out of the woodworks and is a team that's probably going to be in the Eastern Conference playoffs, and that's the New York Knicks. I think next year the Knicks get probably around the 15th to 20th pick, and if they really want that future point guard that they've been seeking so heavily, and they found a great guard in Emmanuel Quickly. Do I think he's a franchise changing starting guard? Probably not. I think Emmanuel Quickly at the two guard in the starting lineup or coming off the bench is a six man of the year role. I think is
Yeah.
great for them. And then plug Io in at point guard. He fits Tibbs' system perfectly. He's a really good defender. And he's a playmaker. And say the Knicks get one or two free agency stars that they've been searching for over the past couple seasons, then that's a great fit for him. I think learning from a couple guys such as Julius Randle and another star coming there and learning defense from Tibbs. And let's not forget, Ayo's a he's a workhorse. He can be out there a long time. And Tibbs is known for playing his players 37, 38 minutes a game. So I'm gonna go with the Knicks as the perfect fit for Ayo Dosunmu.
I like that. I got two little talking points here, two little questions for you. Do you think that if AO would have declared for the draft after his sophomore season, we'd be talking lottery, no doubt here? Or do you think that coming back for his junior season, Rose made his draft stock rise or fall? What do you think about that?
I honestly think it's about the same, and there's a couple reasons for that. Is going to his stats very quickly. So his sophomore year, he was a good player, averaging almost 17 points a game, averaging 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Those are pretty good college numbers. And as a 20-year-old doing that as a sophomore, I can see him going in the first round again,
Mhm.
late first round pick. Um, but he decided to opt in. And what he actually did was he improved his 3-point percentage by 10 whole points. He went from a 29% shooter to a 39% shooter, upped his points by 4 to 21. And the big thing is he upped his rebounds by 3 and upped his assists by 2.
Well,
He's a more efficient and he's a better player than he was his sophomore year. So that's more so where I see his draft stock going up about 5 points to 15 to 20 instead of 25 to 30.
yeah, another thing I want to touch on is he led one of the top teams in the country. He was the best player on what some people would say is the top three team in the, for sure, top three team in the country this season over the regular season. And I mean, not including the tournament, he had a phenomenal season for a phenomenal team. So I think that can only really help his draft stock and just show us kind of the player that he's going to be in the future.
And yeah, so the thing why I said is his draft stock went up by 5. His draft stock could have went up by possibly 10 if he leads this Illini team to at least the national championship, which they were projected to do. It was projected to be an Illini Gonzaga national championship, but part of the reason I don't have him in the 13 to 15 range is he
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 played
kind
bad.
of had a bad March Madness, and that happens. But March Madness is one of the greatest ways to improve your draft stock. A guy we will be doing upcoming, Davion Mitchell. There's a reason why he is a top 10 pick now, and
Yep.
it's because everyone saw how great he was in March Madness. So I say if Ao would have had a great March Madness, you could have maybe even seen him in Davion's position. So
Yeah. I think that that's super, super great point. And I think that, hey, that's only going to let a team get a steal and get him as a steal now. And because he's a great player. We all know that. And I think that he's one of those players that I'll make a little check next to his name after he gets drafted. And I'm excited to see how he does his rookie season because I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. But thanks for watching, guys. We have a lot more of these videos coming out. We might do every single draft prospect. I don't know. You don't know with us. We might pump out a lot of these, but subscribe for more of this. Comment where you think he should get drafted, and you know what? Do you think he's gonna be that sleeper of the draft that me and Chris are saying? But you know what? Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.